Hi, this is JK from Stakefish. I'm here today to talk about our experience participating in the game of stakes and why we're going to participate in the game of zones and why we're so excited about it. So to talk about why we've participated in the game of stakes last year, I have to take you back to where Stakefish was during those times. We were running a few validator nodes, but they were only across 2-3 blockchains. We weren't running infrastructure for dozens of different projects like we are today. So we had a bit of time, and we knew that running multiple validator nodes would be an interesting business model. So we really wanted to challenge ourselves in an almost like real life-like setting, without the consequences of it. So we found out that Game of Stakes might be a good opportunity where we could test this out. This was how we applied for 70 plus different validator applications for Game of Stakes. And we started the network off with around 26% of the entire validator counts, by validator counts. We were pretty excited by the fact that we were able to spin up all of those validator nodes up. We had multiple sentry nodes, of course, for each of these, and we had multiple monitoring tools across all of these. At the end of the day, we had hundreds of machines running just for Game of Stakes, and this was over the holidays. A lot of our team members lost a lot of sleep, but at the same time, it was still a lot of fun challenging ourselves. A few weeks after Game of Stakes started, we were aware that a few of our fellow validators and other projects have become aware of the fact that we were, a single entity was controlling 70 plus nodes. And we did get access to the early article that was being drafted around this. We knew that that would be used at some point to eventually counteract our validator nodes, but we weren't really sure in what way. And so therefore it was it was definitely disappointing and a bit surprising when Certus One came out with the proposal to hard fork all of our nodes out for Game of Stakes number 5. We were mentally prepared for it, but when we actually saw the post, it was still something entirely different. There were a lot of debates inside the team on how to counteract this, whether we could survive, whether we could do some sort of PR around this. But at the end of the day, we concluded that there were just too many validators standing behind Certus One's proposal. And so therefore, we decided to post a blog post explaining sort of our motivations, who we are, and some of the lessons we learned from participating in the Game of Stakes. We considered it as a huge learning opportunity. We knew what the risks in the network was. As an example, there wasn't any formal governance process, and we saw this as a huge risk as we approached the Cosmos mainnet. And also we knew of our capabilities. We were certainly able to operate all these different validator nodes, but we would still have to scale considerably to make this a viable business model. And so based on all those learnings, we definitely improved as a team, not only just technically, but about on how we approached new blockchains and new projects, and how to assess them. So just based on all that we've learned from Game of Stakes, we definitely didn't want to miss out on Game of Zones. More specifically, for 2 reasons. First, Game of Zones will test out IBC. IBC is the crown jewel of the Cosmos ecosystem, so we really want to stress test this out and see how we could sort of build on top of this. Second, as opposed to Game of Stakes, where only validators participated, we'll have wallet companies, we'll have application teams participating in Game of Zones as well. So now you have a whole new perspective on incentivized testnets. And so we're excited to see what they're going to be able to bring to the table. We ourselves are not planning to run 70 plus nodes like we did in Game of Stakes, but we'll be there and we'll try to contribute as much as possible. We're definitely excited to see what the Game of Zones has in store for us. And if you haven't yet, you should definitely apply and get your infrastructure ready. We're excited for Game of Zones. Do you have what it takes? Apply now for Game of Zones if you haven't already. We'll see you in action.